Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you from right here in our quaint little studio on this American holiday, and I don't know which one it is.
Labor Day.
On this Labor Day. Hopefully you guys have the day off and you're just relaxing. I'm joined in studio today by Jonathan Voico.
Black eyes, doll's eyes.
By writer, director, producer Robert Meyer Burnett.
Here's to swimming with bow-legged women. Dude, you got to go see Jaws.
A couple of guys went to go see Jaws
on the big screen.
This weekend.
You know
what?
Movie.
We'll talk about it a little bit later, but a lot of people went to go see Jaws on the big screen this weekend. But most importantly, of course, you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here and making our little show part of your day. And here's how the show's going to go. We're going to start off by talking about a number of topics we got lined up for you guys. Then in the second part of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. If you have a thought, theory, opinion, question, or an issue you'd like us to discuss, as long as it's appropriate to be discussed on our show, we do reserve the right not to answer something if we don't think it's appropriate. Go ahead and fire it on into our tip link at www.streamelements.com/JohnCampea/tip. And the good news about the tip link is that it's actually a good 24 hours a day. So if you're listening to our show on the podcast feed, either on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcasting app of choice, by the way, guys, even if you don't normally listen to us on a podcast feed, maybe you normally watch us on YouTube, open up Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your podcasting app is, and go and subscribe to the audio feed. So the next time you're driving, commuting, at the gym, whatever, and you need an audio version of the show, it'll be there when you need it. Or maybe you're watching our show a little bit later in the day, you can still send in a question 24/7. And if you send one in when we're not actually live, we'll just get around to answering it on the next episode. All right, guys, a little bit of housekeeping here. Want to remind you that the movie meetups have now begun. We already did, of course, Phoenix and San Diego. And next up, we have coming Thursday, September the 11th, we're going to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Regal Windrock to see a 6:30 screening of The Thing. On Friday, September 12th, the next day, we'll be in Denver at the AMC Highlands Ranch 24 for the Long Walk at the 7:40 p.m. show. On Saturday, September 13th, we're going to be in Salt Lake City at the Megaplex Gateway to watch The Two Towers at 6:10 p.m. And on Sunday, September 14th, we're going to be in Las Vegas at the AMC Town Square watching The Long Walk at 7:10 p.m. If you would like to come to any of these, just go to the movie theater's websites and buy yourself a ticket for one of those screenings. We're going to be there to watch the screening as well. And then afterwards, I'll be hanging out outside of the movie theater for 45 minutes to an hour to meet people and talk movies. So maybe we'll see you if you're in one of those towns. And yes, more cities and dates will be announced in the next coming week or two. All right, guys. With all that down, let's get things started with this. It was an absolutely miserable weekend at the movies, box office-wise, as the number one movie ended up being a very good one, Weapons, in its fourth weekend, taking the number one spot. For adjusted now with the actuals coming in, it made $10.2 million, taking the number one spot in its fourth week. In the number two position, we've got Jaws, the re-release, made $8.1 million. That's very good for a re-release.
50-year-old movie?
Yeah, not bad. Coming in at the number two spot. Then a couple of really big disappointments. Caught Stealing, the brand new Austin Butler, Vincent D'Onofrio, Liev Schreiber, Matt Smith. This was a movie that had it's a Darren Aronofsky film. Opening weekend, it has made $7.8 million. In other words, nobody went to go see it. Freakier Friday came in fourth. And then in the number 5 spot, also in its opening weekend, the Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch movie, The Roses, which, listen to me, is awesome. It's a wonderful movie, really funny. Ann and I absolutely loved it. We weren't expecting big things from it from the box office because it didn't have a very robust marketing campaign at all. Awareness for it was pretty low. But still, opening weekend, it only managed to make $6.3 million on its opening weekend. All told, only one movie this weekend managed to make over $10 million. And it barely did, with Weapons making 10.2. So a pretty disappointing opening weekend for Caught Stealing, The Roses. Again, Weapons, kudos to it. It continues to be a real success story right now, which is absolutely fantastic. Rob, let me go over to you. We've got one movie in its fourth week being the number one film. We've got a re-release being the number two film. What do you point to as the main culprit for such a depressingly bad weekend at the box? Was it these movies just weren't given much marketing campaign? The awareness wasn't there. Maybe the movies weren't very good. I mean, I thought The Roses was fantastic, but what do you attribute this to?
Well, this is going to seem a little esoteric, but a movie has to have, I think, at its core, some kind of an idea that excites people because they haven't necessarily experienced it before. So, like the idea of Weapons, an entire classroom of children disappearing, that's a hook that you can't resist.
That's a great elevator pitch.
You know, and that's in order to get people in the theater. The thing about Caught Stealing is people even go back and go, well, it's Darren Aronofsky's After Hours. Well, After Hours is 40 years old. And we've seen Guy Ritchie movies. So as much as I thought that Caught Stealing, I saw it, was a bit of a disappointment for me because it was so derivative. And while I understand Charlie Huston, who wrote the script, I'm a fan of his novels. I thought that there were things in it. It kind of didn't know what it wanted to be. It was a little schizophrenic. I haven't seen The Roses. I'm looking forward to seeing it, but even that's a remake. You know,
well, I'm sorry, I've been correcting people, but it's not really a remake because it's not a remake of the Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner film. It's another movie based on the book. On
the novel, right.
But it really is quite divorced from that other movie. Yeah.
But I think that I mean, while I thought that we saw stuff at CinemaCon that made, I mean, hilarious. There's some lines of dialogue in that movie that are hilarious.
Dude, the movie's so funny. You're going to love it.
You know, and so it's not like I want to see it, but how do you get the masses out? You've got to get, our audiences have to get hooked by an idea. And that's why I think, and I have no idea how it's going to do, but I do think that The Long Walk, having seen it, is going to catch on, especially with younger audiences, because it has a hook that once people start to realize exactly what's happening, they're going to be like, oh my God, well, what happens? You know, and that's what movies need. And that's what movies are, I think, a lot of the time are missing. And the problem is marketing departments are now reliant upon those kinds of hooks. And if you don't have it, like I thought the marketing material for Caught Stealing was actually pretty good.
Right, but to your point, to back up your point here, okay, Long Walk. A bunch of boys are forced at gunpoint to participate in this walk where they have to walk 3 miles per hour. And if they fall below it or if they stop walking, they get shot and killed. Weapons. In the middle of the night, every child of one particular class at a school goes missing in the middle of the night and nobody knows what happened to them. There's your hook.
Yeah.
What is the hook for Caught Stealing? I've seen all the trailers and marketing. I can't tell you what the hook is.
That's what I'm saying. It's all it is there's criminal shenanigans and mistaken identity and somebody wants money or riches, or you've seen this in a million episodes of TV and in a million episodes of a movie. And they needed to portray, and I think you're exactly right. We have to start thinking in those kind of terms because there's so much great streaming television. You know, there's so much great, whether it's a crime thriller or something. If you're going to tell that kind of a story, you've got to give us a hook that is irresistible. You're like, and a hook, what a hook is, it's like, I need to find out how that ends.
Yeah.
You know, and like with Weapons, it's like, oh my God, what happened to those kids? I need to go find out. And it's as simple as that. And whether you're telling, like even in a Star Wars movie, I wonder, because we don't know anything about the storyline, but there's got to be, Starfighter's a fairly generic title. You're a pilot of a starfighter. You're an X-Wing pilot. Okay, that's not enough. You've got to give me the hook. What is it about your starfighter that is different than, say, that guy from Kim's Convenience? He's a starfighter too.
Yeah. Now, of course, in the case of Starfighter, that movie is so far away. They haven't even.
Yeah, they don't even know. But that's what I mean. They'll give us a hook. Project Hail Mary. The Earth is going to die. There's one guy who's has to go out and fix it. Is he going to be able to do it or not? And oh, he meets an alien on the way. I mean, that's like, I got to find out what happens. And I think that's what people forget when they're greenlighting projects today. I mean, they've got all these elements. By the way, Austin Butler and the cast was terrific in Caught Stealing. But even I would say that it was a little derivative. It felt like a bunch of other movies put together.
Now, by the way, I normally I won't mind that if the execution is still great. I'm not saying every movie has to have that one-line elevator pitch.
No, it doesn't.
But if you don't have it, you have to have a pretty robust marketing campaign around it to sell the audience about why they need to see it. And I would propose that neither Caught Stealing nor The Roses, by the way, other big fall-on-its-face flop, a movie that opened in almost 2,000 screens this week, Toxic Avenger, made $1.7 million on 2,000 screens. And I remember I said 2 weeks ago, guys, why don't you talk more about Toxic Avenger? And I said, because no one's going to go see it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. You don't understand. I had people yelling at me. The popularity is thing. I'm like, no one's going to go see it. But all three of those, none of those three had a robust, energetic, enthusiastic marketing campaign. And none of them really had a hook. And
I mean, and also, look, let's not forget, Toxic Avenger is a trauma property.
Yeah.
It never carried, I mean, it is a cult movie amongst cult movie aficionados. And it's not even great. And, you know, they've done all different kinds of Toxic Avenger movies, but they belong to the same kind of subset that people who get excited about Sharknado movies belong to. So it's not like you're going to make the Toxic Avenger crossover.
Yeah.
Even though if the movie was good, I mean, the makeup's quite good. Look at that.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I mean, Weapons continues a very impressive run, which is great. And oh my God, congrats to Jaws. But none of the other films did well. They all kind of found their face. What do you attribute that to? Is there a bigger picture here? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on and talk about this, shall we? Look, I'll straight up say it. I love Chris Hemsworth as Thor. You know, even when I'm watching a subpar Thor movie like Thor: Love and Thunder, I still love watching him play the character.
I agree.
I really do. And there's something great about it. And really, he's kind of the last man standing right now. Yeah, we've got some version of the Hulk out there somewhere, maybe. Professor Hulk, which has not done it for me at all. I mean, really, to me, you got him standing and Hawkeye, maybe he's around somewhere. But Thor's like the last of the big three that's still there. And the question has kind of been going around about what's Thor's future in the MCU? Is there a future for Thor in the MCU? You guys remember a little while ago, Chris Hemsworth put out that social media post saying, I just wanted to say thank you to all the fans for my Thor journey. And everybody thought that was him announcing that he was retiring as Thor, but he came out and clarified that. Said, no, it was just me thanking the fans. I'm not done playing Thor. Well, now, of course, he's coming up in Avengers Doomsday. And he was asked recently about what's the future of Thor 5. And I thought his answer was really interesting and kind of revealing too. He said this comes to us from Coming Soon. When asked about Thor 5, he says, I don't know. We'll see where this one goes, Hemsworth said of Thor's future in Marvel after Doomsday. He then added, we are unpacking that as we speak and figuring out where each of these characters go. I'm just thankful for being involved with this one at Marvel, back together with a lot of the old cast and then the new cast. It's something I certainly love. We'll see what happens. Hemsworth's comments regarding his character's MCU future in Thor 5 come amid rumors that have predicted a sacrificial death for the hammer-wielding superhero. Although Kevin Feige has hinted that it would be fun to see actors such as Hemsworth reprise their roles for multiple more projects, he has not shared any official word on the character's future as of now. That came to us via Deadline. All right. So obviously, he's being very measured in what he's saying, which is totally should be. He's saying, we'll see. We got this movie in front of us. But here's the revealing part to me. When he says, and I'm paraphrasing a bit, we're kind of working out what a Thor 5 would be. That statement alone reveals a lot, I think. To the degree of, I don't think Thor's dying in these movies. Unless it's another fake death. Or unless it's Thor of Earth 71B-Q or something like that. Chris Hemsworth as Thor, it seems to me, is not going to be gone. And it sounds, the very fact that he's saying we're already talking about how we would do this tells me they are looking towards a Thor 5, which to me is not surprising. Listen, I think everybody agrees that Thor Love and Thunder was the weakest of the Thor films. Whether you still thought it was pretty good or whether you thought it was terrible, everybody agrees it's pretty much the least good of the Thor movies. And that movie still made over $700 million at the box office. And again, in an MCU world now where we have no more Natasha, we have no more Steve, or do we? That's a topic for another time. We have no more Tony. We like in that world, you got to have some OG flavor still around, and he's vital and important. So, Rob, although you cannot say this is confirmation, so I will not use that giant C word. I think this is him. He just kind of let it out that, yeah, we are looking to doing a Thor 5. And that tells me he's not going to die in this film. I don't know. You read his words. Does it make, what do you think he meant by them? Number one. And then number two, if you're an exec over at Marvel right now, are you saying in the boardroom, guys, we need to talk about Thor 5? Or is that not even something you have to think about? What do you think?
Well, I mean, they have, there's mysterious Marvel movies that haven't been announced that are on schedules.
Yes, we have dates being held.
There are dates, and I would say that the thing that they would have the least amount. And look, I say this by saying it's not like they can just pull something out of their behinds, but to have Thor and to have a guaranteed moneymaker, it makes sense to me that even if you want to end the character as moving on into Secret Wars and whatever the new Marvel universe, the new iteration is going to look like, you could make a final Thor film where Chris Hemsworth passes Stormbreaker to the next generation, or we're going to go back to the original version of Thor where he has a human, there's a human that turns into Thor. You could easily do that and recast the character.
They did that in the old Bill Bixby Hulk. Do you remember that TV movie they made?
But
I loved it. I don't care how cheesy it was. I loved that.
But they could definitely do something like that. And I think that they've got him already there. He likes playing the character under contract. I'm sure, as he gets older, it's going to be hard to look like Thor forever. He's been playing Thor for the better part, and when this is all done, he'll have played Thor for 20 years, or almost 20 years. And so I could see him hanging it up, but getting one more movie seems like a no-brainer.
Bless you.
But that's what I would think. Sorry.
All right, guys.
Camera.
Question is for you. What do you think about this? What do you take away from Chris Hemsworth's comments? To me, it seems fairly clear that they are looking at Thor 5. He is going to survive this, but he doesn't explicitly say that, so there could be some room for interpretation. Do you think that Marvel should even at this point be thinking about a Thor 5, or do you think they should just retire the character? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? Well, you guys know that there is a new Harry Potter series coming on HBO. And I wasn't paying it a lot of attention until they started announcing who the producers and showrunners would be. And they were like the best in the business. I'm like, holy crap, they're serious about this. And then they started announcing the cast as like some world-class talent. I'm like, holy crap, they are really serious about this. This could be really good. But it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for people to see Nick Frost as Hagrid, to see anybody else playing any of these characters. There's going to be some adjustments. And we all just assumed that they would all be new actors. Well, pulling a move out of the Lion King playbook, when Lion King decided, it's all new performers for this new CG 3D animated Lion King, except we're going to bring James Earl Jones back. Harry Potter's just done the same thing, as the BBC is reporting that the great Warwick Davis is coming back to play his character again, this time in the HBO series. The report reads as follows. Warwick Davis is to reprise his role as Professor Phileas Flitwick, hope I'm pronouncing that properly, in the upcoming Harry Potter television series HBO has confirmed. The BAFTA-winning actor played the part in the popular professor in the Harry Potter movie series about the famous wizard based on the books of J.K. Rowling. He is the first actor from the Harry Potter film franchise to reprise their role in the upcoming TV series. He also appeared as Griphook, a goblin employed at Gringotts Wizarding Bank. Remember him that? But that role will now be played by somebody else. All right. Number 1, putting Warwick Davis in anything is a step in the right direction for whatever that thing is. This guy is charming. He is funny. He is warm. He just has something on screen that he just makes whatever is on the screen more watchable. Whether he's in some kind of comedy sketch series, whether he's playing whatever, Warwick Davis is just great. I remember being at Star Wars Celebration once, and he was the master of ceremony. He came out and he did all the interviewing, and he was brilliant. And you know what? If you would have asked me a month ago, hey, John, do you think they should bring any of the original cast into the new HBO series? Honestly, I would have said no. I said, you really got to differentiate, the movies from the new series. I would have said clean slate, all that kind of stuff. That's what I would have said completely. Unless you suggested to me of Warwick Davis coming back. The brilliance about this is twofold. Number 1, there's a nostalgia factor. It's something that binds this new iteration to the old one. And I think that will be key for some people. But here's the other key thing, Rob. His character is not a spotlight character. He's not Harry. He's not Ron. He's not Dumbledore. He's not Snape. He is a background character.
Yep.
A good one, an important one. So, because I think if they had brought back the same, I don't know, if you brought back somebody to play whatever the character is again, that you could do that wasn't a child character at the time, that is literally a spotlight character. For example, bringing back Ralph Fiennes to play Voldemort again. Then it just would have felt like, so you're just redoing it? Something like that. But having a Warwick Davis play this character again gives you the benefits of minor ties to the original, that warm feeling of nostalgia, while at the same time not undermining the fact that this is a fresh, brand new thing. So I would have said otherwise a month ago, I admit, but once I saw that they were doing this, I personally think this is genius, and I'm excited that he's doing it. I don't know, what do you think of the move of Warwick Davis coming back for the HBO version of Harry Potter?
I think what you just said is absolutely true. Because he's, Warwick Davis, first of all, he was done dirty by the Willow TV series, so it's nice to see him get this role again.
Yeah. That was a terrible show.
It was so bad. But him coming back as this character, Warwick Davis also is a gifted character actor.
Yeah.
And this is a character where they can change the makeup and he can really descend into this part. There's not a lot of actors that are his caliber of actor that also combine his unique physicality. So I think that bringing him back is only going to class up the joint. It's an opportunity. Kudos to the producers. To me, that's what good producing is. It's like, I agree. You can't have a marquee character be the same actor. It would be confusing because we're going to see a lot more of these characters than we ever saw in the movies simply because of how much time they're going to have. I mean, you're going to have how many more, if you talk about a 2-hour movie, you're going to get 10 hours to tell the same story.
Yeah.
So we're really going to delve into these characters in ways we haven't before. Look at him as this character. I mean, what a great look for him. I mean, I just think it's a great thing. And I'm really looking forward to it because he is a great actor. Like, what was the name of the show he did with Ricky Gervais?
Life's Too Short.
Life's Too Short. Dude, he was so good in that show.
He crushed it in that.
And I love that guy. I mean, he's just terrific. So good for him.
Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I mean, again, I would have said a month ago that you shouldn't bring back any of the original actors, but I got to say, this one kind of hammers it. They bringing Warwick Davis back to play this character again. It's small enough and minor enough that it won't make it feel interchangeable with the movie series, but it also brings some familiarity with it. And by the way, he's just terrific. So having him in the role is great. I don't know. However you guys feel about it, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, it's time for us to do a little Overreaction Monday version. on this. Of course, we jumped on our
holiday version,
a holiday version, if you will. I jumped on the community tab, the post section of the YouTube channel, and I asked our subscribers, hey, do you have any statements for us that we might think is an overreaction or maybe that it's not? We picked out a bunch of them. Jonathan's got them right now, queued up and ready to go. So Jonathan, what's up first?
All right. So first up, John, is this an overreaction or not? Callum says Dexter Resurrection will win Best Drama at the Emmys.
Man, I got to tell you, I'm finally all caught up with Dexter Resurrection. Dexter is back. Dexter's back. After it completely fell off the cliff with Dexter New Blood, that I really thought it was terrible. I love the original series, but Dexter, that was... Now, they started to show some life with Dexter Original Sin, which I thought was actually pretty good. And
that was actually renewed.
It was? Oh, yeah. Then later they pulled the plug.
Well, they canceled it because this was so successful.
Yeah, and I agree with it. I think it was really good, but you can't keep moving forward in that timeline. It's too close to the original Dexter series. So I was okay with that. And so I had a little bit of hope maybe for Dexter Resurrection. And it's back. It feels like the Dexter Original Sin or First Blood never felt like Dexter to me. This absolutely does. The performances have been amazing. I've really loved it. Now we just got to watch the finale because the second to last episode was bonkers good. And how good is Peter Dinklage in this series?
So good.
So good. Anyway, but guys, this is an overreaction. It's wonderful to see Dexter back. I think the show has been very good. I didn't think you could come back for how badly it kind of went with First Blood. This has been really good, but really good is not going to get you a nomination for Best Drama Series at the Emmys. I don't see that happening, and that's fine. I'm just glad Dexter's back. I look forward to Dexter Resurrection Season 2, but I think it is quite an overreaction. It's an extreme overreaction to say it's going to win Best Drama at the Emmys, so I'm going to call it an overreaction. Rob, what about you?
I agree with you. I mean, look, for as good as this show is, what is this, the 13th season of Dexter or something?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you.
I just don't think that remember, the show it's still, look, to me, it's not an A-list show like a Breaking Bad or The Crown or something like that. So I think it's an overreaction simply because of how long it's been around. And two, the subject matter, it's a pulpy B movie. It's still good. It's really
it's
good.
Great for
pulpy.
what it is.
Yeah. But I don't think it's a prestige Emmy-winning show.
Yeah.
Even though I could see Michael C. Hall getting a nomination.
I could maybe even see Peter Dinklage getting a supporting actor nomination.
Yeah, I could see that too.
All right. What's next?
All right, RMB, is this an overreaction or not? Esteban says 2025 is the best year for horror movies ever.
Way overreaction. Look, we started out with things like Companion that I thought were very, very good. We've had Stephen King adaptations like The Monkey, from Oz Perkins. There's been a lot of I think, great horror this year. There's been a lot of lower budget stuff. Things on Shudder have been good. But I don't think we've had a timeless classic. Weapons is a good movie.
Very good.
But it's a little divisive amongst certain people. We've not received, we don't have an Exorcist. We don't have a Nightmare on Elm Street. We don't have Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We don't have, that doesn't mean we won't get one. We're going into October.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it's been a very good year for horror.
We got Smurfs.
And
that was
pretty horrific.
Horrible. No. Horror.
Horrible. Horror. I get it. I was thinking horrific.
Okay.
Yeah, never mind.
And I mean, the Stephen King adaptations keep rolling along. Long Walk we're getting. Running Man we're getting. We already got The Monkey. The Institute on TV is a Stephen King adaptation. But I don't think it's the best year for horror ever.
Yeah, I think that is definitely an overreaction. It's been, like Rob said, it's been a good year for horror.
It's been
a good year. So look at 1982. You had Poltergeist, The Thing. You had...
within, by the way, the same month.
Those are in the same month of each other?
Yep.
The Thing.
June of 1982.
Wow.
You had Evil Dead. You had Creep Show.
Oh, I love Creep Show.
Okay. Every one of those that I just mentioned, we can talk about 4 decades later.
Yeah.
And we all know this. To Rob's point, I don't know. Like, Sinners to me is still the best movie of the year. But I don't know that there's any horror film this year that we will still be talking about 40 years from now. I mean, we got to get a few years removed to know
Yeah,
for
and
sure. But I mean, has it been a good year for movies? Yes. Best ever? That's an overreaction.
And Sinners is a pastiche. You know, it's got horror elements, but it's there's a lot more going on. I mean, Sinners is a great film. But as I said, it's been certainly a great year for horror. But I don't think you can call it the best year ever. History will decide that.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to call it Epic Jeffy. Just sent in 10 memberships.
Yep.
For our group. Thank you so much for that, Epic Jeffy. That's incredibly generous of you, dude. All right. What's next?
Okay, John, is this an overreaction or not? Let us know. Cam Combs says, Weapons is so good, it's a serious contender for original screenplay and supporting actress for Amy Madigan this coming Oscars.
We were just talking about how it's definitely an overreaction to say that this is the best year for horror ever. But to say that Weapons could be in the running to get a best screenplay nomination and a best supporting actress nomination, that's not an overreaction.
Nope.
I'm not saying that'll absolutely happen, but to say that it's got a legitimate shot at those things, I don't think that's an overreaction at all. The screenplay is brilliant. It's a wonderful screenplay. And I'm telling you what, her performance, the moment she shows up on screen, right through to the last thing, I'm not going to give it away, let's just say on the lawn, it's a powerful performance, man. She shakes you and creeps you out, and she's just great. Automatic nomination? No, but to say she's legitimately in the running for it, I don't think that's an overreaction at all, so I'm going to go with it. Rob, what about you?
I, too, think that's not an overreaction. I mean, you think about it. Amy Madigan was Kevin Costner's wife in Field of Dreams.
Oh, my God. That's right.
She's from the 60s.
Yeah.
You Nazi cow. I love Amy Madigan. She's married to Ed Harris.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was in Streets of Fire. I love Amy Madigan. But this turn, man, she was fearless. You know, a lot of actresses worry about, like, they want to look good. I mean, from her Joker makeup to her actual performance, totally owns that role. She just dove into that head first and gave us some. If you look at the annals of horror heroes, whether you Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, whatever, she's up there. She's become iconic. You know, there's somebody history will judge fairly in terms of people are going to be talking about her performance years from now. Years from now.
Yeah, it was real good. All right, what's next?
All right, we got our, is this our third? No, sorry, it is our fourth. Robert, is this an overreaction or not? We've got from Franklin, the K-pop Demon Hunter sequel, if released in theaters, would join the $1 billion club.
Ooh, you know what? After everything that's happened with K-pop Demon Hunters, if it's good, I would say maybe. I don't necessarily think that's out of the realm of possibility. However, it would need a very robust marketing campaign, and I don't know if Netflix would ever do that. I mean, if Netflix changed their ways and threw everything they could into it,
All right,
maybe.
but the statement is saying it got a full
I
release.
would say I could see it. Look, if Niza 2, I think K-pop Demon Hunters is definitely a phenomenon, and I think that it could. It could.
Right. And by the way, nobody went to go see Niza 2. It's made no money whatsoever because China lies about its box office. That being said, this is a real overreaction. It's a real overreaction. Listen, if you put K-pop Demon Hunters 2 in theaters, it's going to do well. And it's going to make serious money. But we have seen time and time again, there is a difference between people. I mean, once you've already paid your Netflix subscription, it's free to sit down and pop on whenever you want to watch. And you can sit down and watch it. You can have a 14-year-old girl or a 25-year-old guy. They can sit down in their living room and watch it 40 days in a row if they want to and all that kind of stuff. It is a different matter to get somebody to go take a shower, get dressed, drive down to a movie theater, spend money to buy a ticket, go in and watch it. So do I think they should do it, K-pop Demon Hunter 2? Absolutely. Do I think Netflix should put a K-pop Demon Hunter 2 in theaters? 100%. Do I think a K-pop Demon Hunters 2 would do well at the box office? Absolutely. But a $1 billion film? No. It'll be great. It'll make a lot of money. Everybody would be happy. But to say it would make $1 billion, that is an overreaction. All right, what's next?
All right, John, this is going to go back to you. Is this an overreaction or not? From Strikemur, Toy Story 5 will make more money than Mandalorian and Grogu in 2026.
Absolutely not an overreaction. I'll be honest with you. I would be shocked if Mandalorian and Grogu made more money than Toy Story 5. Toy Story is a potential $1 billion film. I'm not saying it will make $1 billion. I'm saying it's a potential $1 billion film. Mandalorian and Grogu is not. I don't have very high expectations for how well this glorified episode of TV is going to do. I mean, it's John Favreau, so I'm definitely going to go see it, and it's Star Wars, so I'm definitely going to go see it, but I'd be lying to you if I said I was excited about it. I'm not saying nobody's excited about it. I think there probably are a bunch of people who are, but I don't know a lot of people who are excited about it. And even with some doubt and speculation surrounding Toy Story 5, guess what? All that doubt and speculation was around Toy Story 4 as well, and look what it did. So I don't think it's an overreaction at all to say Toy Story 5 will make more money at the box office than Mandalorian. Rob, what about you?
Totally agree with you. Here's the thing. We were talking earlier about the hook. Movies need that kind of hook. If you had to say to me that the Mandalorian had to see if he could get Grogu back to his Jedi masters in the movie, I'd be like, that's a hook. But we've already seen it.
Yeah.
So what the Mandalorian and Grogu, they go on an adventure again. I mean, I don't know why am I going to the theater to see that movie? Why wouldn't I just watch Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2 again?
Now, granted, we haven't seen the marketing campaign.
Of course,
yet.
we
They
haven't
may
seen
change
anything.
their minds.
But I'm just
We
saying
can change their minds.
right off the bat, what you're saying is you're not that excited about seeing it. You just said
not yet.
That's what I mean. I'm not yet either. Toy Story 5, however, that franchise hasn't let me down. The third one was probably the best.
I agree.
And it's like those boys at Pixar, the boys and girls and everybody at Pixar, they know what they're doing with the Toy Story franchise. They've never let me down in almost 30 years.
All right. Last one. What's next?
All right. Last one up here is for you, John. Is this an overreaction or not? Kevin says Supergirl makes as much as Superman.
You know what? I love that statement. I don't think it's an overreaction. Again, I don't think it necessarily will make the same amount as Superman, which right now is sitting at $611 million worldwide.
Yeah, it made like another $3 million this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So good for them. A lot of people were wondering, could Supergirl be like $1 billion film? And that I say no, absolutely not. But making $600 million is within the realm of possibility. I have it more in the $450 to $500 million range if the movie's good and all that kind of stuff, which is more than it would have made if Superman was bad. But because Superman was so loved, because the overwhelming percentages of the audiences loved it, because the critic response was so good, because Superman was so good, it sets them up for success. So I don't think it's an overreaction at all to say it could make as much as Superman did. Rob, what about you?
Totally agree. Especially you've got Lanterns, you've got Peacemaker, people loving that. And I think the Tom King, the Woman of Tomorrow story that Supergirl's based on is, again, when people know what the story is and they see the footage, it has a hook. And I think we've already met Supergirl, and to see why she is the way she is, and to see Krypto again, and to see a fairly dark story with people like Lobo in it, I think there's going to be a lot that people are going to be like, oh, wow, I got to go see that. So I think it's going to outgross Superman. I don't know by how much, but I think it will.
All right, guys, that wraps up today's installment of Overreaction. Big thank you to all you guys who sent in those great statements. Keep your guys' eyes open on the channel, especially in our posts and community tab when we do put out a call for you guys to submit those, and we'll pick a few out. Maybe you'll see yours on our show. All right. With that down, guys, let's move on to this. It's Monday. It's I didn't even know if you knew this, Rob, but it's a day of the week that ends in Y.
You're kidding.
And as happens on most days that end with Y, it's been announced that a streaming service is increasing its prices.
No.
It generally seems to happen
on a holiday?
On days that end with Y, even on holidays. Streaming prices going up again. This time, our culprit is a questionable one. It is Peacock. Peacock is raising their prices.
They gave us the shaft.
This comes to us from Mashable, saying Peacock is raising its prices. Here's how much it will cost. The cost to rewatch The Office and Parks and Rec and many others has just gone up.
Because we're getting the paper.
That's right. The paper ain't free, man. Donald Gleason wants the big money.
Yeah.
In July, streaming service Peacock raised its prices for new subscribers, while those changes didn't impact existing subscribers. Peacock has now confirmed that the price increase would apply to all subscribers as of August 22nd. That means new pricing will go into effect on your next billing date, or if you're on an offer at the end of the promotional period. So, as August 22nd approaches, by the way, I think they got the wrong date in there, and new prices loom, let's examine how Peacock will also do this. Basically, here's the prices. The monthly premium price plan went from $13.99 to $16.99 per month without ads. The price with ads went from $7.99 to $10.99 per month. All right. Here's the interesting thing. By moving their ad supported, you're paying $11 to watch commercials. Here's the kicker. The ad-free tier is now more expensive than Disney Plus's or Paramount Plus's ad-free tiers, while it's cheaper than some others. So their ad-supported tiers are going to be more expensive than Netflix's $7.99 a month for ad-supported. Peacock's commercial tier will be more expensive than HBO Max's at $9.99 per month.
Bastards.
And more expensive than Disney Plus's at $9.99 per month. More expensive than Hulu's at $9.99 per month. That's changing anyway. And more expensive than Paramount's $7.99 per month. Here's the thing. You know what the number one movie on Peacock is right now? The number one, that's exclusive to their service?
John Wick, maybe?
Madagascar.
Ooh.
You know what the number one TV show is on there right now?
The Office. No.
Twisted Metal.
Okay.
If you go over to something like Netflix, their number one movie right now is not K-pop Demon Hunters, by the way. That's been knocked out of the first place. The new Thursday Murder Club is now number one.
Which I'm going to check out.
Yeah, sure. I'm excited to watch it. HBO's number one movie right now is Final Destination Bloodlines, which everybody's excited about. The number one movie on Disney Plus is Thunderbolts. The number one movie on Prime is The Map That Leads You to Me, which is whatever. I don't know that one. Paramount Plus even has Heart Eyes, and Apple TV Plus's number one original movie right now is The Gorge, which, by the way, I kind of like The Gorge.
I loved it.
I had a good time with it. I
don't care what anyone says. I thought it was great. Good. And the weird Netherworld is great.
That was on Peacock, or what was the Gorge on?
Yes, the Gorge is on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah,
now, in terms of TV shows, HBO's number one is Peacemaker. Disney Plus's number one is Alien Earth. Paramount's is South Park, followed by Dexter Resurrection. Prime, it's The Terminal List Dark Wolf.
By the way, have you watched that?
I have not, but I've heard people really like it.
It's pretty dope, dude. It's right up if you like those kinds of things.
I never watched the first Terminal List, but it sounds like maybe I have to.
It's good.
The point is, the cock is not exactly the top best streaming service. And I say that as a subscriber and somebody who likes, the network. I like Peacock. It's good. I love watching Parks and Rec on it. I love watching The Office. I like watching some of their original stuff. I like Peacock, but to make themselves the most expensive of the streaming stuff is questionable. It's questionable. And it's like when you are nowhere near, or maybe you don't realize it. You're not nearly the prettiest girl in school. You're not even in the top 50%, but you are outraged when you don't win prom queen. Or in my case, prom king. I know I'm a chud. That's fine. But maybe I didn't. And I thought, what the hell? This is an outrage that I did not win prom king. I don't know. You've got to be self-aware enough to say, hey, are we the best value on streaming? No. But you know what? If we can't be the best streamer, and if we can't be the best value, we should at least be the most expensive.
It's about image.
If you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter.
That's right. If the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Only some of you will understand that reference. And if you do, say it in the live chat, because I want to see who is sophisticated enough to know that reference. Anyway, Rob, I mean, this thing is about a week. By the way, good to Ron H. You recognized the quote from the immortal Red Green. Well done. So anyway, Rob, I mean, this happened last week. I mean, yes, the price increases happened and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, what is Peacock thinking? Like with some others that increase their prices. I remember we talked just last week about another service that increased their prices. And I'm like, well, they're a great service and they're still cheaper than a couple of others. Peacock just made with commercials, themselves the most expensive streamer out there. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Well, I pay for the cock, and I have to tell you, I got
to go on a t-shirt.
I got an email from them explaining that they raised their prices after they already charged me the higher rate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was right after we talked about, it was literally the day of the show where we were talking about whatever we talked about last week. And that, you know what? That incensed me because they didn't say, or maybe they did say that they were raising their prices and I just missed that email. But the fact that they said they're raising their prices and I also got the Peacock, a notice from my bank that they'd taken my money already. I was like, well, you're living up to your name there because that was kind of a dick move. And I'm like,
kind of a dick move.
I can do this all day. I just thought I didn't like that. You know, I'm like, give me an opportunity. Okay, if you're going to raise prices, and look, I like Universal. You know, NBC Universal, that's Peacock's streaming service. And they've never changed the name of their streaming service, so we get a lot of enjoyment talking about the cock, which
still
is good.
The worst name for a streaming service.
But good for them for sticking by their guns. You know, and people aren't even going to remember the old NBC, you know, Peacock. That's from ages past. But how many times are they just going to keep raising prices? And they didn't rate. I mean, $3 is not insubstantial. That's a large percentage jump.
21% price increase.
I mean, that's big, dude. I don't know. I mean, I still like the service.
I do too, but it's, you know, the idea of paying $11 a month for a service that is still going to show me commercials. I don't know. It's getting, because guys, you guys know when we talk about price increases, I'll often say, more price increases, but I mean, the service is pretty good and it's still not as expensive as this. And maybe it's still a good value. Listen, they're starting now to get to the territory where I can't even say this might be a good value. $11 a month for Peacock with commercials. I can't say that's a good value.
I think what's happening overall too is these streaming services thought this was all going to be free money. Yeah. We get free subscriber money, and they realize that the upkeep, the production of shows, everything is quite literally unbelievably expensive. Quite literally, that it just is unbelievably expensive. and I just think that now they're like, well, we can just soak. We need to make more money. We need to show our shareholders that we can make more money. So they'll just go in and expect us to pay. And I think, look, when we're getting soaked, every American consumer is getting soaked 5 ways till Sunday. It's got to give. I mean, we only have so much disposable income. I mean, now I don't. It's so weird that everybody just figures that, oh, they'll pay for it. But you know what? $3 here, $4 there. At the end of the day, you've spent $700 more than you want across over a year. Well,
when it's $3 here, $4 there, 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah.
Now, I guess some people in the live chat are very responsibly and accurately pointing out, you know, they just made some sports deals, some NBA games, some stuff like that. And,
okay.
And they're going to have to pay for that. And you know what? That's a valid point.
It is
a valid point. But again, to me, when you know that you are nowhere near the best streamer in the business and you say, but we should at least be the most expensive.
Or at least send me a great big announcement. We have these sports deals and you can only get them here.
Yeah. By the way, to your point, when you said that you got charged for the new increase and then later got a notification about it, it reminds me of this great story I read about a month ago of this woman who showed up at work and was told, no, you've been fired. You're done. And literally 3 weeks later got the email from the HR department saying, just to let you know, we've made the difficult decision to have some comeback. Like, they emailed her 3 weeks after they canned her to let her know she was being canned. Anyway, that's kind of like this. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I mean, Peacock has raised their prices again, but now with the commercial supported tier, they're actually more expensive than streamers that are way ahead of them. I don't know. It's not a great look. Anyway, whatever you guys think about it, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? I'm going to call this segment Idiot Decision Monday, because that's what the studio just did. We're talking about Mortal Kombat 2, which was, for you guys keeping score, supposed to come out next month. They dropped the first trailer for it. Listen, the last Mortal Kombat movie, crap. Had some really good things, some fun things about it, but overall that movie was crap. Made about $80 million at the box office. There were some extenuating circumstances around that too. Got to give it a little bit of credit, but still made about 80 million bucks. Wasn't very good. The new trailers look awesome. Trailers look great. Excited about it. It's supposed to come out next month, end of October. Not anymore. Because the powers that be have decided to move the Mortal Kombat release date. This is what they wrote. This is coming across the screen. It says, Deadline first reported that the highly anticipated Mortal Kombat 2 will be delayed all the way to May 15th of 2026. Nearly 6 months from its original date. This comes after the movie trailer's record-breaking success, which garnered around 107 million global views in the first 24 hours after it's released on July 17th, which, by the way, is putting this movie into the territory of Mandalorian, of Super Mario 2, potential sequel to The Devil Wears Prada, and others kind of in that orbit. All right, look. The justification and the explanation being given for this move is as follows. They were so overwhelmed by the huge response that the trailer got that they figured, you know what? We should put this in with the big boys. This movie will be huge if we drop it in the summer season. And they decided to up and move it. Rob, I equate this with Sony going, oh my God, do you see all the people talking on social media about Morbius? We should re-release it. Yeah, because that's the message. The message about everybody talking about Morbius is that we should re-release it and put it back in theaters. Them going, oh my God, people love the trailer. Instead of saying, let's now really lean into it. We got a month and a half to rev up to this. We've told the world it's coming at the end of October. We've got people excited right now. Let's lean into this. Let's get this thing home. Instead, they decided to go, hey, you know how we told everybody it's coming out in like 7 weeks? Yeah, let's say, let's not. Let's make everybody wait 6 more months for it. Here's why, to me, this is incredibly stupid. It's incredibly stupid because, like a loaf of bread sitting in your pantry, hype has a shelf life. It's been proven over and over again. Hype is not self-sustained energy that once hype comes to a certain level, it just stays at that level forever. They had a knocked out of the park trailer that did the unthinkable, got people excited for this movie. And people have been talking about this movie and people have been buzzing about this movie. That hype and that buzz is going to die. Now, you might be able to manufacture more later on, but now you have to manufacture more later on because all the goodwill, all the hype, and all the buzz that you generated with this great trailer, like a fart in the wind, it's going to be gone. It's gone. It reminds me a little bit of when the Godzilla movie with King Ghidorah came out. They dropped the first trailer for it way too early, a year in advance. And everybody got excited and everybody talked about it. It had a bunch of trailer view records for the series and all that kind of stuff. And then month after month after month after month passed. And by the time the movie came out, it didn't do all that well. As a matter of fact, a lot of people were even like, wait, I thought that movie came out like ages ago. They have literally just taken all this great pop they got for the trailer and they have literally just flushed it down the proverbial toilet. And I'm sorry, but that's a mistake. That is a tragic mistake. I'm not saying that now it's impossible for this movie to do well next year.
Sure.
I think it still can. It could still be really good, and I'm still looking forward to it. I am. But you got everybody excited, and you held out this silver platter with a gorgeous lava chocolate cake with some vanilla ice cream on the side, and then you said, to coin a 1990s phrase, psych, and you pulled it away. I haven't said that in a long time.
Wow.
Psych! And you pulled it away. And it's just, this is a mistake, Rob. I don't see any other way but to say it's a mistake. And I think to put it into the same neighborhood, just because people responded to your trailer does not now mean you're on the level of what, even though I don't think Star Wars is going to be $1 billion film, putting it on the same level as Mandalorian and Grogu. Again, this movie could still be fine, but I think this was a mistake. How do you see this?
Well, here's the thing. I'm of two minds of this. Because there was such a short period of time between the trailer's success and when the movie was coming out, it doesn't seem to me like the trailer's success made them go, oh, you know what? If we threw a few more $1 million into this movie, we could make it a summer film and put it in contention with the big boys. Because that's not what they're doing. The movie was already done. It's already coming out. It was a month, like you said, a month from the trailer release or 2 months from the trailer release to the release of the film. They're not just pushing this movie by a month or two. They're pushing it by half a year.
Yeah.
They've made a decision, and I think you're absolutely right. They looked at it and said, well, we can put this could be a summer movie. What they were missing, I think, is the fact that the latter half of 2025 does not have a lot of big tentpole properties left for people to go see. The fact that this movie had such success with their trailer, it was given an opportunity to have some time all to itself to generate some views for people to go to the theater. In May, you're in the middle of summer movie season. You're in the middle of all kinds of movies coming out. And this film is going to be seen as lesser in those movies. I mean, you're getting prestige, whether it's Devil Wears Prada, like this article said, whether it's Mandalorian and Grogu, whatever else is coming out in May. This is kind of the low rent movie now. Whereas when it was coming out, what was it supposed to come out in October?
End of October, yeah.
Okay.
Just before Halloween.
That's
was a great release date for it.
Great release date for it. Like, why would you F that up? I mean, even it's got monsters in it. It's Halloween adjacent. It was a big dumb move. And that to me is a move that is made in a boardroom by people that don't really understand their product or what they're supposed to be doing. You can run all the analytics you want, but you can't tell me that you've got a B movie in a great B movie slot, which is October. And that B movie is suddenly going to be what? You're going to trick audiences to think you're now getting a $200 million A movie in the middle of May where summer movie season has started? No, this is still a Mortal Kombat movie. And I think you're even denigrating it by trying to put it out in May. By the way, May 15th is my birthday. So I'm just saying.
Happy birthday.
And it's like, this is not what I want to see on my birthday. It's a movie I want to see in October, but it ain't a movie I want to go see in May. That's for dinosaurs and spaceships. I mean, come on, man. I don't want, and superheroes. I don't want to see this movie in May. This is going to be the Megaforce of next May.
The Megaforce. Listen, to the point before, too. That trailer shocked the world. I know it shocked me. And I never thought in a million years that I would get as excited for Mortal Kombat 2. Because again, I didn't think the last one was good at all.
Right.
So I never pictured myself being really excited for Mortal Kombat 2. And they put out this trailer and they got us there. They got us excited. They're not going to be able to get us back to that same level. I'll just call it now. You got us here. Now you've pulled the movie out. And I think you're wrong if you think you're going to get us back to that same level again. They can still put out some other good trailers. again, it's just that you did the impossible, man. You got people excited about this movie, and now less than 2 months, 7 weeks before it's supposed to be in theaters, they pull it and they push it. Listen, Rob, I'm going to say this is an extremely rare L for Warner Brothers this year. Warner Brothers, who has crushed it this year, is seemingly making every right decision along the way, including changing the name back to HBO Max.
Right.
But this is their strikeout, man. They swing and miss at this.
The only thing that I can think of is by seeing all this interest, and I don't think they're doing this, but if they actually threw some more money at it, improved the movie in some way, elevated it they're not, because the movie, look, if you're 7 weeks away, your film is essentially done.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to subtitle it, you have to put all the metadata in, you have to get it ready for streaming, you've got to get it ready for a worldwide release. I do think that this was a mistake. And I think that Warner Brothers should have kept this movie. They did the same thing with Weapons. Look at where Weapons is right now. It delivered the goods. It had a banger marketing campaign. It had trailers that people got really excited about. It had some great viral marketing. And people were, again, Warner Brothers, I would have kept this. This was a quiver in their arrow, man. This is going to keep their year rolling along. I mean, who knows how much money they would have made off this? This movie is not a $200 million movie. And like Weapons, maybe it was a $40 million, maybe more investment, but still, it's not a huge investment. And I think you're absolutely right. You don't get this level of hype back. People are like, oh, they're going to think, like with Godzilla, King of the Monsters or whatever. Didn't that movie come out already?
Yeah. Wait a second. What? I thought that came out like last year. Yeah. Listen, that's not to say that the movie can't still be great and all that kind of stuff. I just think this was a strategic fart. This was a strategic fart for them. Anyway, guys, whatever you think about all this, jump down into the comment section below and leave your farts there.
I'm going to strategically fart from now on.
That's that.
I thought you had been.
Sharp thing. I thought you had been. All right, guys. With all that down, we're now going to move on to the most important part of our show. But two things we got to do first. First, we're going to bid good afternoon to writer, director, producer Robert Meyer Burnett. Great job as always, man.
The end of the summer movie season today, John.
Yep,
that's it.
Yes, it is.
Happy Labor Day, everybody.
And secondly, we got to thank the sponsor of today's episode of the John Campea Show, our friends over at the Wednesday Wocast.
Hey guys, John here. If you're dying for the next batch of Wednesday Season 2 to drop on Netflix, then I'll let you in on a secret. The Wednesday Season 2 official Wocast is already here. Prepare to dive deeper into the mysteries of Wednesday with the ultimate companion video podcast. Join the frightfully funny Caitlin Riley, along with her producer, Thing, as she sits down with the marvelous cast and crew. Together, they'll unravel shocking twists, dissect the dynamics lurking beneath, unearth the deep Addams Family lore, and answer all of your lingering questions that simply refuse to stay buried. Guests include Emma Myers, Joy Sunday, Steve Buscemi, Fred Armiston, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and of course, Jenna Ortega. With 8 delightfully dark episodes to devour, you'll be drawn deeper into the haunting halls of Nevermore Academy than ever before. But be careful, you know where curiosity often leads. The Wednesday Season 2 official Wocast is available now in audio and video on todoom.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcasts. You've been warned.
All right, guys, with that down, let's move on to the important stuff, your topics, comments, and questions. So, Jonathan, what we got up first?
We got Christian. Hi, John. Been a long time fan since AMC Movie Talk. I'm
Thank
curious. With great Batman villains already on the big screen, who would you like to see make their live action debut, whether in Reeves' universe or Gunn's DCU? My pick is Hugo Strange.
Don't care. When it comes to the villains, it never really matters. Whatever villain you pick, as long if you like. Again, we talk about this all the time. Doctor Doom's been in 3 Fantastic Four movies, and that didn't save those movies. He's arguably one of the best. Like some people might say, he's the best comic book villain ever, and that didn't help those movies. Whatever character you use, as long as you write a great story around them, give them a great action to do, it can turn out great. And if you use a great character and don't write it well, it doesn't really matter. So I don't really care. Like, all the things being equal, I've settled for a long time. I've been wanting to see a KG Beast on the screen. I think that could be fun. There's a few others, but really at the end of the day, I don't really care all that much. Just write them. Because if you had asked me, hey, Matt Reeves is doing a Batman film, who do you think should be the villain? I wouldn't have said the Riddler. I certainly wouldn't have said the Riddler. And yet, because the way Matt Reeves wrote it and Paul Dano performed it, they made a fantastic Riddler character as a fantastic villain in that movie. So ultimately, I really don't care, what monkey gets pulled out of the barrel. I really don't. All right, what's next?
Pierre, hi John, or should I call you John Stradamus? I've started seeing advertisements for a Disney Plus Hulu ESPN bundle with a discount for a 1-year subscription. This is being advertised as a limited time offer. I live in Texas. Might be a regional test.
Yeah, like contracts are coming. Like even with Peacock, with the price increases we just talked about, they offer a 1-year deal where you basically you pay the price that you would pay for 10 months. So essentially you're getting 2 months free, which is good. They're offering you a reduced rate if you commit to a full year. I've said for a long time, I've said for a couple of years now, streaming services are going to go the way of the cell phone plans. You got to sign up for a 2-year commitment or a 1-year commitment. They're slowly bringing that in, and I sadly don't think that it's all that far away. All right, what's next?
We got, thanks, Icy Nest, 5 John Campea gifts.
Membership gifts. Thank you, Iciness. That's great, man. Thank you.
And then we got Swole Daywalker. What's up, guys? Would have liked to seen Alan Ritchson as Batman because I've always leaned towards a bigger Batman, but I was thinking, and although maybe too big for it, I could see him as an Oliver Queen, Green Arrow. Thoughts? Love the show.
Yeah, I think I talked about that the other day on the show. I could see him as an Oliver Queen, like a little bit of an older, more mature Oliver Queen. I mean, Oliver Queen has sometimes been portrayed as much older, and that's fine too. Yeah, that could work. Listen, I think in the worlds of superheroes, a lot of superheroes can be big and buff. I think Alan Ritchson has shown he can carry a character. I think there's many he could do. So yeah, maybe a little big for Green Arrow, but I certainly wouldn't scoff at it if they announced him as the new Green Arrow. All right, what's next?
Dildar the Glorious says, to reiterate on what makes good Star Wars from yesterday, this is last week, is with the Knights of the Old Republic game, it didn't need to tie in with anything to be great. It just needed to be a great game. Doesn't matter what it's about as long as it's good.
Again, I always kind of roll my eyes a bit when we look at a film or a series of films or a cinematic universe of films, and maybe they're not doing so great, and people try to point to a formula as being the problem. Rob and I have this debate. In that sometimes Rob has suggested that, and I feel bad saying because he's not here to defend himself, but I say it in the spirit of cooperation here. So we'll talk about some of the shortcomings of the Marvel Cinematic Universe since Endgame. And Rob will normally in our conversations first go to, they're not tied together enough. And while I agree that the films post Endgame have not been nearly as tied together enough or feel as unified as, say, phases 1, 2, and 3, the reality is, even if they were more tied in together, that doesn't make a bad movie a good movie. Like, you know what was pretty tied in? Secret Invasion. Bringing in characters from the Captain Marvel movie, and there was a lot of tie-in there. Didn't stop it from being arguably the worst show they've ever put out. And if each movie that Marvel had put out since Endgame had just been a really good movie, we wouldn't even be worrying about how tied in it was. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so to your point, I agree. Like with Star Wars, it's not about, is it tied to the Skywalkers? Is it tied to, that's cool if you do, but it's fine if you don't, if you just make a good project. If you make it intriguing, you tell a good story, you make characters we get associated with, we get connected to. The formula doesn't matter if you execute well. So yeah, I agree with you. All right, what's next?
We got Scotty Doesn't Know. Just finished the audiobook of Project Hail Mary. This one is an amazing listen. The last 5 minutes has me in tears. Thanks, Rob, for putting this on my radar. Can't wait till March 20th.
Yeah, and thank you to Rob for putting it on my radar, too. I loved it. I loved it, and now I'm even more excited for this movie. And I'll tell you what, I've got a bet. Rob and I have an ongoing bet that they are going. I believe they're going to change the ending. Now, I don't want to talk here about what it's going to change, because I don't want to give away how the book ends. But I think they are going to make a change to the end that will go over really well with the audiences in the theater. But we'll see where it goes. I'm glad you liked it, because I absolutely loved it too. All right, what's next?
We got Chris, who says, this is going to sound weird, but one of the things that makes Peacemaker work so well for me is how grounded it is. Yes, it's superhero, sci-fi, fantasy, and all that, but focusing on stories of the characters is so realistic, it makes it all work. Loving it.
Listen, at the end of the day, for Peacemaker season 1 and 2, as bonkers as it is and as crazy as it is, and the fact that it's in this universe with superpowered beings and all this kind of stuff, at the end of the day, it truly is a character-driven story. And I just find myself, like, I love watching the show because I love the characters. You know what it really has for me, Jonathan? It has a supernaturalness to it, like the TV show Supernatural, where, yeah, sometimes they have great stories, sometimes the stories aren't so great, but they always have these great core of characters that I just love watching because of who they are. And Peacemaker has that. I love Peacemaker. I love Hardcourt. I love, the whole team. I love Vigilante. I love, I love these characters, and they do that so well, and I'm loving this season so far. All right, what's next?
We got Cupid doll. That effing duck attacked me. Had to be the funniest line of the new Peacemaker episode. The way Tim Meadows plays this character is hilarious, especially all the nicknames. What was it?
Titties.
I was going to say Ginger Cool. You Ginger Cool. Names he gives everyone, genius.
Tim Meadows is an underappreciated comedic goldmine. He always is. I don't care if he's in Mean Girls, and I don't care if he's in Peacemaker. Tim Meadows is a wildly underappreciated comic genius. The way he delivers lines, when he's so casually standing there, you, Mexicali, Encino Man, you do this. Titties, take the back. And
she looks down.
And it's just like, and he just said, it's all in this deadpan delivery. And then when it comes to that duck attacked me.
Yeah.
Going back to the bird blindness thing, I just about died. By the way, Jonathan, I don't know if you saw it. Did you see James Gunn put out on social media the PSA about raising awareness for the very serious condition of bird blindness?
So what's funny is I saw that first and I didn't know what he was talking about.
Oh, because you hadn't seen the episode
and then
yet.
I got caught up and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, God, that was so good. All right, what's next?
We got D. Mullins. Hey, guys, love the show. So since Alan Richson might be joining DCU, do you think he could be Sergeant Rock? No, DC are having a hard time finding the right guy for that.
I don't even think they're going to do the Sergeant Rock movie, to be honest with you. I really don't. I mean, that could be one of the characters he does. Certainly that's a possibility. I don't think any more of a possibility than any of the other big list of characters we went through the other day. So that is one. And for those of you who don't know, they were looking at doing a Sergeant Rock movie. That we had James Bond himself, Daniel Craig, who was lined up to do it, but he's left the project. The director has left the project. I honestly don't know if they're even going to do a Sergeant Rock. And honestly, I don't think they should, but if they do, I'll give it a shot. So it's possible, but I don't think it'll be that. But who knows? We'll find out. All right, what's next?
Lee Crow. Hi, John and John. No spoilers. My theory on Peacemaker is that the really, really big cameo is Starro from the Top Trio universe or another universe among the Doors that somehow crosses into the DCU.
No chance, because nobody would care about that one. Like when James Gunn says at the end, we're going to have a really, really big cameo, that a Starro thing is not going to move the needle for anybody. I'm just being honest with you. Now, you might be saying, as other people have suggested before, maybe James Gunn was being literal in saying really, really, really big and some monstrous, huge thing. I don't think that's what he meant. He's for a long time, he's hinted at this really big cameo that's going to come at the end, much like we had really big cameos at the end of Peacemaker season 1 when the Justice League showed up. But now it wasn't the Justice League that showed up. It was the Justice Gang. But still, no, it's going to be somebody very significant that the internet will then buzz about. And so, no, I don't think it's going to be Starro. All right, what's next?
The dumb of all fears. Because I'm weird and keep track of these things. While there's still 4 months to go, but I think this might be the first time in 21 years where my most listened to song of that year won't be a song by Bowie or Queen. It's likely going to be punk rocker.
I'll tell you what, I'm a little shy about telling you this, but I will tell it to you. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, the 2 songs I have listened to both without hyperbole or exaggeration, maybe in the hundreds of times in the last number of months, has been Punk Rocker by the Teddy Bears and Iggy Pop that plays at the end of Superman. I am so addicted to that song. I have it on at least 2 or 3 times every day. I just do right now. The other one is Golden from K-pop Demon Hunter. I have listened to that song either just by straight up putting on the music video and watching it, or watching all these YouTube videos of vocal coaches reacting to that song. I admit, I've kind of become addicted to those. I've been watching all these videos of vocal coaches and musicians reacting to the song Golden. So yeah, I've been listening to a lot of punk rocker and a lot of Golden. It's a weird mix of the two. All right, what's next?
We got Hoopa Drives a Boat, Chief. I can go full ahead. You want me to go full ahead? Hey, John and Rob and team. Last night I saw Jaws on the big screen with my teenage kids. It was their first time watching in the cinema. There were over 100 people at our screening. The atmosphere and crowd reactions were awesome. Cheers from Australia.
Yeah, dude, listen, it's pathetic that a movie that made $8 million is second place at the box office for a weekend. That's terrible. But hey, for Jaws to make $8 million, a 50-year-old movie on a re-release like that for them is a massive success. And it's, it's really exciting. I know for a lot of people, since it's back in theaters, it'll be a lot of people's first time watching the movie. And I think that's awesome. I think that's just incredible. All right, what's next?
Wade is saying, so excited that 1 week from today, my second most anticipated film of the year, Conjuring Last Rites, hits theaters. It's the #1 most anticipated horror film for fans, according to Fandango.
It's not saying much. I mean, Sinners snuck up on everybody. Weapons snuck up on everybody. Another of these are big IPs and stuff like that. I wish I could say I was excited for this one. I'd be lying if I said I was. And I really quite like a couple of the films in the franchise. Some of them were big swings and misses, but a couple of them are really quite good. So I'm very curious about it. I will definitely be there to see it, but I would be lying to you right now if I said I was excited about it, but hopefully it turns out great. All right, what's next?
Alex Pitt, if you want to see another great performance from Dakota Johnson, check out Daddy-O with her and Sean Penn. It's a really good film, elevated by 2 fantastic performances.
Yeah, that was one that caught my attention. She gets into the back, I believe, in the back of a cab, and Sean Penn is the cab driver, and it launches this conversation, and it looked interesting. I'll be honest with you, I never even realized it came out. I remember watching the previews for it. I remember them talking about it, but I don't even remember that film. That film completely fell off my radar. So yeah, not sure about it. I'll have to go and check it out at some point though. All right, what's next?
All right. Admittedly, when I first read this, I was thinking Tim Robbins, and I was thinking, is he talking about the outtakes from Anchorman? But then I understood what he's saying. Aaron Strelensky, watching all of Tim Meadows' scenes was the hardest I've laughed in a long time. Hope we get a lot more of him.
Yeah, dude, he fits in. I'll be honest with you. When I first saw in the trailers that Tim Meadows was going to be in Peacemaker, I thought that's not a fit. I was wrong.
Oh, I thought he was gonna fit.
I honestly didn't. I thought that's just a different feel. It's not gonna be a good fit to have him in there. But I was wrong. I was very wrong, because the moment he walks into the van and just starts talking to economists, I was like, oh my God, he fits in great. Yeah, he was absolutely golden. I can't wait to see him in the rest of the season. What's next?
Just that one scene from the trailer where they look into that world and it's like skulls and lava, and he's like,
yep.
I'm not going in there.
I can't wait to see that.
JCB Primal, a 2-parter. You kept saying $7 is the difference between ad-free and ad-supported per month. and is 3 to 4 hours of extra streaming worth that $7? But that's only true if you use only one service. If you add up the difference between the most common streaming subscriptions, HBO, Netflix, Disney, Paramount, etc., it comes out to $40 saved using ad-supported. Not the real question is whether that 3 to 4 hours extra streaming is worth $40 per month.
Listen, if you want to put them all together, it's way more than 3 to 4 hours of extra commercials per month, because for an average 30-minute episode show, you're getting 8 minutes of ads. It varies from service to service, but on average, per 30 minutes of entertainment, you're getting 8 minutes of ads. That means if you're watching an hour-long episode of something, you're getting 15 to 16 minutes of ads. That means in just 4 episodes of something, you've watched an hour of ads. I know people that can watch 4 episodes of something in a day. You want to add it all up together? Forget the 3 to 4 hours of ads. I'm just talking like if you just watch the one service and whatever, you want to add it all together and all that kind of stuff, you're probably watching 20 to 30 to 40 hours of ads a month. If you're a heavy viewer, like I know a lot of us are. I'm sorry, but my time and your time is worth more than $1 an hour. But yeah, do not underestimate, guys, how much time you spend watching commercials for a service you're paying for. Let me repeat that. For a service you are paying for. You watch the John Campea Show, we're free. We're a free show. We don't charge anybody to watch the show. So we're ad supported. So you're getting something in return, right? Like you watch ads on our show, whether it's YouTube ads or our sponsors, but in return, we're going to give you a free show. Hopefully it's a little educational. Hopefully it's a little entertaining. Either way. But guys, do not underestimate. If you're a subscriber to the ad-supported plan, at the end of the day, at the end of the month, you have probably watched days worth of commercials. So the question becomes, how much is your time worth? How much is it worth to you? If somebody were to come up to you and say, hey, I will give you $20 to watch 18 hours of commercials. Are you going to do that? Think of it in those terms. If someone were to come up to you today and say, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $20 if you sit down and watch 18 hours of commercials. Does that sound like a good deal to you? Because that's ultimately at the end of the day what is being proposed. So I don't know. I mean, again, it will depend from person to person. If you're watching 10 hours of programming an entire month, you know what? Then it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. But if you're a heavy viewer, like I know a lot of you are, get out a stopwatch and actually start timing exactly how many minutes of ads you're watching, and then correlate that to how much money you're actually saving, and then phrase it like, is it worth it to me to get this much money to watch this many hours of ads? For me, I think the answer is no, but for everybody, it is different. All right, what's next?
We got Danito. Who's worse at running an organization, Kathleen Kennedy or Jerry Jones?
Oh, I think they sent that one in last week. Yeah, Jerry Jones. Yeah, Jerry Jones.
We got Anonymous. I can't comprehend the fact that Rick Flag Sr. from Superman and Peacemaker is the same Rick from Creature Commandos. It makes no sense to me that guy was fighting Cersei and getting with evil princess. It's like 2 different characters.
Oh, I disagree. By the way, it's just me. I don't even count Creature Commandos in the continuity. I know we're supposed to. I get it. I get it. But in my head canon, I don't even count it. But as somebody who doesn't even count it, I don't know. It seems pretty consistent with the character so far, unless I'm missing something. You
have to be able to divorce yourself from the tone of a cartoon and the tone of live action. So if they had done Creature Commandos live action, it wouldn't have been as exaggerated.
Yeah.
So you
now
have
he
to tone
looks
that
a little
down.
bit different because in Creature Commandos he's got white hair and a white beard, and in the movie and in the show he doesn't. But other than that, the personality still seems pretty the same. I think this guy that I saw in Peacemaker would have banged the Princess of Sokovia or whatever the country was. All right, what's next?
Let's see. Bobby Jackson, a while back, James Gunn said something to the effect of DCU being viewed through the lens of one character. He said people would be surprised, and I'm starting to think it's Rick Flag. So far, he's been a through line within all the DCU projects.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I don't necessarily think it is Rick Flag, but that is a possibility. I mean, Rick Flag could end up kind of being the Nick Fury of the DC universe. To have that one character that's kind of central, but is standing on the outside a little bit, and he's our lens into this world of the super beings and all that kind of stuff. Again, I don't think it'll be Rick Flag, but I think that's a very interesting theory, and it very well could work out to be that way. All right, what's next?
Scooby Drool has a 3-parter. Hello, John. Just recently saw Black Adam again, and it was an okay fun popcorn, but I now understand why some people didn't like Black Adam. Whether this old DCU movie was polarizing or not is a question for another time. However, you can't deny the big redeeming factor in Black Adam was the Justice Society team. Even though there were just 4 members in the team, Hawkman, Atom Smasher, Dr. Fate, and Cyclone, Wind Girl. They were fantastic and gave more flavor to the film. Do you see James Gunn doing a Justice Society movie? Since James Gunn has done great work with teams, Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad, he would no doubt do a great job with a live-action Justice Society.
No. I think he's leaning into the Justice Gang. I don't think we're going to have the Justice Gang and the Justice Society. Now, if you're asking specifically, can I see him going and getting those characters and those actors from Black Adam and just bringing them all into the DCU? Absolutely not. No, 100% no on that. If you're asking more in general, could we see him just doing, with all new performers and all new characters, them doing a Justice Society? Probably not, honestly. I think that would be a little convoluting to this new universe they're connecting. I think we're going to have the Justice Gang, which will evolve into the Justice League. And I think that will be that. I don't think we're going to have a Justice League and a Justice Society running around. Now, I never put anything past James Gunn. You're absolutely right to never put anything past James Gunn. So does it exist as a possibility? Yes. Does it exist as a likely thing? I would say no, but that's just my guess. Again, it is possible. All right, what's next?
We got Swole Daywalker. What's up, guys? Like to see Alan Richardson. Oh, wait. This stupid thing keeps bouncing on me. Hey, guys, love the show from D. Mullins. So since Alan Richardson might be joining the DC, do you think we could get...
Already had that one too.
Yeah, so why'd this bump? Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to read this one, and then I'll find where I was. Dildar says, there have been hints going around that Ned will become Hobgoblin in the new trilogy, and it could be because Peter tries to become friends again and messes up so bad that Ned becomes Hobgoblin to take revenge on Peter for whatever he did and cause their rift.
Yeah, I've heard that with, and with Jacob Bartolone, who I think is great, by the way, who plays Ned. Remember in the last movie, they hinted at that he may have some magical skills. That he may at his core have the potential to be a sorcerer. I think if they're going to explore anything, it'll be that. Again, I don't know. I have no insider information of this. I really don't. So, but just from a fan perspective, speculating, I don't think that's the direction they're going to go. They very well could. I'm not telling you they're not. I very well could. But just as a pure fan's point of view, I think if they're going to take him in any kind of direction other than just Peter's buddy, it'll have something to do with his maybe like latent sorcerer skills. But we'll find out. All right, what's next?
Got Anonymous. The Michael Jackson biopic it's a 2-parter, is officially done. They had to do reshoots the month of June, but it seems like they were just still filming all the way until his birthday. This is definitely going to be 2 parts. Also, this movie is going to make a ton of money. It is 2 parts. They confirmed that. Also, I'm hearing both parts will come out in 2026. I know the first part is coming out in April. The second part will most likely come out in the fall for the Oscars. Do you think, John, also when do you think we'll see Wait. Oh, our first look of Michael. We have seen our first look.
Yeah, I mean, we got a first look at Michael. I mean, they showed us a
From
preview
CinemaCon.
at CinemaCon like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it looks great. It really does. And no doubt they're going to split this into 2 films. There's no doubt about that at this point. And I completely agree. It is going to make a crap ton of money. This Michael, both of these Michael movies are going to make ludicrous amounts of money for musical biopics. I would say both of them are potentially billion-dollar films. Not automatic billion, but I mean, I don't see either one of them making less than 700 million. And so when it's all said and done, this thing with part 1 and part 2 could be $2 billion. I mean, it's going to be crazy how much money this movie makes, or these movies at any rate. All right, what's next?
Okay. This is kind of interesting because I'm on an opposite path and I'll explain why. But Anonymous says, I recently moved to Disney Plus ad tier system to save money. The ads are at the beginning and end of a movie, and it's only 3 breaks with 1 ad within TV shows. I was going to do it for Netflix, but I think you don't get all TV movies. Surprisingly, it's been okay. Here's the thing. I'm actually moving off of the ad tier because they used to do that. Well, I put on Thunderbolts yesterday, and there were 3 or 4 ad breaks in the movie. And I said, no more. I am not watching TBS here. I don't need a bunch of ad breaks in a movie. It's one thing if it's on TV shows where you're used to seeing that. So now I'm moving off of that. And as far as Netflix goes, you're limited on content. You're also limited to 720p.
On your resolution. Yeah.
Instead of 1080 or 4K.
And here's a question for you. When you were watching Thunderbolts, and I don't know the answer to this. When you were watching Thunderbolts, when there was an ad break, was it a 1 ad break, or was it multiple ads in the ad break?
Some of them were 1, some of them were 2. And I'm just like, dude, there's a lot of ad breaks in this movie. They used to only do it at the beginning and end of a movie.
Yeah.
And now it's in the middle. I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm watching TBS.
Yeah.
So,
All right, what's next?
Tony Guzman will go here because it bumped on me again. I got to figure out how to stop that. Hey, John, just wondering if you've been able to fully catch up on Dexter. If they're finally able to stick the landing, it could go down as one of the best seasons of the show to date, as well as one of the better seasons of television in the last few years.
I think that's an over-exaggeration that it's one of the better seasons of television in the last couple of years, but it has been really good. And if they nail the ending, if they nail this final episode, I would say it gets in the conversation of one of the best seasons. I don't think it's the best season of Dexter ever, but it gets into the conversation. Again, I can't tell you how impressed I've been with this season of Dexter. I never thought they'd be able to really get back and really feel like Dexter again, but they've done it. They really have. And I have been loving this season. You know what? I hate his son. I hate his son. What's his son's name again? Piffy Longstockings? No, it's something. I can't. Guys in the live chat. Harrison. I hate that kid. Hated him in First Blood. Whatever. I got annoyed when I knew he was going to be in this season. But you know what? I've been won over. Even on Harrison, I've been won over. So it's great, but I wouldn't say it's like. Let's put it this way. I wouldn't put it in the same category as Andor Season 2 or as The Pit or, stuff like that. But their turnaround has still been nothing short of remarkable. All right, what's next?
We got Blue McLaren. With the excitement of our most popular hero turned villain with RDJ becoming Dune, couldn't the reverse get the same response with one of the most popular villains, Michael B. Jordan, becoming Black Panther? Marvel may consider this after fan response.
Nope. No, I've said this the whole time. I think that would be a really stupid move. Like, the thing about Killmonger is that he is not just a misunderstood guy. He is an evil, genocidal, murderous psychopath. Yeah, he got a raw deal with his start in life with, his dad being murdered and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, he is a murderous, genocidal psychopath. He is a villain through and through, and played brilliantly by Michael B. Jordan. I don't see them bringing him back in as the new Black Panther. I just don't see it. All right, what's next?
It's actually, I guess there was 2 parts to it. Just like how Iron Man died, the ultimate hero, and will come back to surprise his friends as the villain in Tony Stark's face. Michael B. died a villain, but comes back as Black Panther from another universe wearing Killmonger's face, surprising everyone.
Again, I don't think so.
Yeah.
All right.
And every like iteration we've seen from like, What If and stuff, he's still a villain. Swole Daywalker we read. We got, okay, that's annoying. I hit pause. I figured out how to pause it and it still bumps. Here we go. SB, Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern as the cameo in Peacemaker. There's already Hal, but change it up as Booster Gold. I think it's Margot's Harley. Always thought she was coming since James added his DCU heroes. Can't think of something big other than Batman. I mean, she was in his version of
Suicide Squad. And remember, recently when James Gunn was directly asked by a reporter, is there any chance that Margot Robbie comes back as Harley Quinn? He said, we'll address that sometime later.
Yeah.
So it could be Harley. It could be Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn popping up. It could be a Batman. That's possible. So we'll kind of see where we go, but the Harley Quinn one I think is absolutely on the table. I'm not predicting that it will be, but again, that is absolutely a legitimate option that's on the table for them. All right, what's next?
All right, well, this was clearly before we did our show notes and everything, but Gabe Big Dog says, hello, John and Jonathan. It was announced by Warwick Davis and Variety that Mr. Davis is returning to Hogwarts Professor Flitwick in the upcoming Harry Potter TV show.
Yeah, and I would have said a month ago, should they bring any characters back from the original movie? I would have said absolutely not. But as soon as I saw Warwick Davis as this character, it's perfect. It fits. It gives you all the benefits of a returning character without any of the drawbacks of a returning character. So I think it's a great move.
We got, Gabe Big Dog is back and says Audible released another trailer for the upcoming full cast Harry Potter Audible books. Mark Addy, who was King Robert Baratheon
I like
in Game
him.
of Thrones, will be lending his voice to everyone's favorite half-giant Hagrid.
You know, it's funny. In a conversation I had with a friend of mine about, and this is going back a few months, about the upcoming HBO series of Harry Potter, I mentioned him as a possible Hagrid. Not for the audio version, but like for the full HBO TV series. I actually mentioned him. I think he's a great choice for it. I really do. All right, what's next?
Tony Guzman says, also just a suggestion for the van movie tour when you eventually make your way to the East Coast. Ocean City, Maryland, and the surrounding Delaware beaches are great tourist spots for you and the wife. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I am just started to sit down and start planning out the East Coast swing of the movie meetups. I mentioned this before. A bunch of people suggested that I go to, I forget the name of the theater, but Kevin Smith owns a theater in New Jersey. And so maybe I don't make it into New York, but maybe I do one for like that entire area at Kevin Smith's theater in New Jersey. And now I haven't reached out to the theater yet to see if that's possible to arrange, but maybe I'll do that. So keep your guys' eyes open. Again, in the next coming week or two, we'll make some announcements about more cities and dates that we'll be doing. All right, what's next?
Mr. Snivy, in an alternate timeline, what if Marvel was never bought by Disney and the MCU stayed with Paramount? How would the franchise be today? Maybe Paramount and Universal could have agreed on a Hulk sequel, but maybe no deal with Sony to use Spider-Man. Thoughts? I mean, maybe Paramount doesn't sell to Skydance. You know?
Here's the thing. I think the most likely scenario is Marvel doesn't exist. Remember, they were teetering on bankruptcy. They had some really, really difficult times. There is a very real possibility in that universe where Marvel never bought, or Disney never bought Marvel, that Marvel just straight up doesn't exist. That's a real strong, honestly, I think that's the most likely outcome. If Disney never bought Marvel, there's a real possibility, I think, that Marvel simply does not exist today, or got bought by Warner Brothers and merged in with DC. I mean, I don't know, but I think it would be a very different looking Marvel today, and maybe not even at all, might not exist at all. All right, what's next?
Okay, that was it for tips. We have some members here. King Daddy Goat, hey, John and crew, been watching Scream 5 because, well, I've never seen it, and I wish I'd seen it sooner. Fun fact, King Daddy, I've never seen any Screams. What surprisingly great entry into this franchise. Can't wait to check out Scream 6 later. Spooky season is upon us.
I have no idea what Scream 5 is. Honestly, I don't know if there have been 12 Scream films. Have there
Scream
been
5,
three?
I think that was the first of the new iteration, right?
Is that the first of the new ones?
Didn't they do Scream 6? Oh boy, now I'm not sure.
So I can't say.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
All right, we got Kevin. Hey John, with the Bruce Springsteen and Marty Mauser biopics coming out soon, I was thinking about other bands or artists that could work for this style of film. A few that came to my mind was Prince, Neil Diamond, and possibly one about Nirvana or Bon Jovi. What do you think of these bands or artists possibly having a biopic about them? And are there any that you'd like to see personally?
Nah. Honestly, the only one that I really would care about is maybe a U2 one. Because, I mean, U2 was also a band and is also a band that, besides being like the biggest selling and I think the greatest band of all time, they actually spend a lot of their time going around trying to change the world. Not through their music, but like literally doing projects and trying to do things to make the lives of people better in the world. And I think that would make for an interesting movie. There's not a lot of musicians that I think a movie about them would be all that interesting. Even musicians, like I love Bon Jovi, but I don't know that I'd watch a movie about Bon Jovi, to be honest with you. Now, that's not saying that that's how the general population would feel, but you're asking me, and that's just kind of my kind of thoughts on it. All right, what's next?
Here's our last of the members. Back Fandango X says, seems Fathom events has become more and more popular the last couple of years. Some amazing re-releases coming back to theaters. Is there any particular films that you think would have the ability to crack the top 5 at the weekend box office?
Like, so not just one that I'd like to see re-released, but something that like Jaws.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, again, Jaws only made it because it was a particularly weak week. A weak, W-E-A-K, weak, W-E-E-K. But one that could also legitimately be in the top 5. Ooh, that's a good question.
Maybe maybe E.T. Because you'd have parents bringing their
E.T.,
kids.
yep, that's a good one. E.T., you know what? E.T. and the original Aladdin.
Oh, yeah, that would
You
be,
do a
yeah.
re-release of the Robin Williams
100%
Aladdin.
that would be
I'm not
great.
saying that's making $100 million.
No, but it would be in the top 5.
But I think that one would be in the top. You know what? I would love to go see that on the big screen again.
Yeah.
It's an old enough film. It's far enough separated. I think you do a re-release of that. I think that makes a little bit of money. I really do. And I think it does make it into the top 5.
I think you're right on that. I'm curious to see how Back to the Future does on October 31st. Because that has a lot of, like, even younger audiences like that movie.
Yeah. And all right, guys, that'll do it for today's installment. What holidays again? Labor Day?
Labor Day, yes.
That'll do it for our Labor Day installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making our little show part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in the questions. Number 1, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number 2, you supported this channel as you did it. And all of us involved with the show, thank you guys so very much for your support. Big thanks, of course, to Robert Meyer Burnett, to our technical producer, Jonathan Boyko.
See you guys tomorrow.
My name's John Campea, everybody. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.